Yes, Norman Koshnak here once again for Extra Time. As you can see, I'm all branded up today. You'll see my lovely hat, my lovely shirt with Extra Time. Don't I look lovely, guys? Just before I introduce you, do you think I look lovely?
You can do away with
Yes,
that
you're
beard.
looking-
Other than that, you're looking fantastic.
I'm looking fantastic. Thank you very much. Extra Time. I'm officially a male model today. I've got the hat. I've got the shirt. I'm not supposed to mention that I've got underwear with Extra Time, but I won't mention that. That's another conversation another day.
You show it. You don't mention it.
No, I won't mention. The boss has told me not to mention that, so I won't mention it. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. We've got Nikhil here, who's having his, looks like a beer stein you've got there in front of you. How are you, Nick?
I'm having my black coffee number 5 for the day.
Really? We've got two other lovely gentlemen who are new to the Extra Time Network. We have Paddy or Paramjeet, former first-class cricketer for Harania. I said to London I was wrong before, but I'm sorry, Harania. And we've got Vivi. You prefer to be called Vivi, don't you? And you are, I'm guessing, a Chennai, correct?
Yes, yeah, correct.
And you're sitting in front of a plastic background. Is that a shower curtain you've got behind you? I'm not sure what that is. Are you in your shower? Are you talking out of your shower? Looks like you're in your shower.
No.
Okay, I'm glad, because we don't want you to scrub away in the middle of the show.
Norman, just letting you know, Paddy Padamjeet is not just a former first-class cricketer. He's a commentator. He comments on every sport. But now, more famously, he's known as a, very famous singer. He goes around the country singing one of the best songs. So you can't let him go before singing us a song or two, probably towards the end of the show.
We'll sing together. I'm especially gifted with my singing, as you can see.
You know what Hollywood songs do you?
So back to Vivi. You've got to get out of the shower next time and get into the lounge room, please. All right. So, and I'm guessing, Vivi, you're a Chennai Super Kings fan by your shirt, correct?
Yes.
And
Correct.
you represent the Bharat Army as well, which are a force to be reckoned with. Magnificent force of nature. They support India everywhere. I think everywhere from Timbuktu to Zimbabwe to India, they're everywhere. They're one of the most strongest groups ever. But you know what I'm going to do today, before we get into the match, which is between, is it Kings versus Kings? I'm going to get confused. Which king do I go for? There's Punjab Kings, there's Chennai Super Kings. They're all kings. Two kings can't win. One king will have to come into their kingdom today. Now, we're officially going to be talking about that, but we're going to start, guys, because Tobias has told me to start this way. I never want to forget our sponsors. Our sponsors for My 11 Circle are very, very important. And I'm going to now talk about our sponsor right up front so we make sure that they are happy. So don't forget, if you actually are going to download the My 11 Circle app, the fantasy app of fantasy apps, quite an amazing tool. You'll get 1 crore worth of rupees as a first prize. You'll beat the likes of VVS Luxman and get a chance to win 5 times the cash. You've got to download that now and get 1,500 rupees, joining bonus, and a 20% extra. Make your team now. Have you done yours, Nicola? Have you got your My 11 Circle app? Have you got that, Nicola?
Yes, I do, and I do play once in a while. I'm not I'll be honest, I don't play very often because of Debashish. Because you end up making your team right before the toss. But Debashish keeps me on the show. I don't get time to pick up my phone and then make my team. So because of him, I've been missing out on making my team.
One of the busiest anchors India's got at the moment is Nikhil Naz, my friend, right there. As he said, he was mentioning 5 cups of coffee. It means 5 shows that he's done already.
Actually, I mean, he understands that. For each show, you need a caffeine dose. So the more shows you do,
people like me out of work, no coffee, nothing, just a glass of water.
Well, I've got a muffin here, guys, which I will consume at some stage. Now, I like my 11 Circle, but I have my own here. It's my Circle Guru box. Well, I'll call it my Guru box. It's officially my magic. I've forgotten the word for it. What do I call it again? I've had a mental blank. What do I call this, guys? What's my term for this?
Oh, you call it your crystal ball.
Of course. it goes as a chocolate milkshake, but we won't want to do that. The fact is, my crystal ball tells me I have a breakthrough here. The Kings will win tonight. Which Kings? I'm not telling you, but it's telling me Kings. We'll see whether it's right. All right.
There's only one king, so that means you've picked Punjab. The other is Super Kings. So if you've picked Kings, then...
But they're both Kings. Don't confuse the issue now. Don't do that. All right. Please. All right. Now, this is going to be... I find this game intriguing. Realistically, we're expecting, I would think, the Punjab Kings to win this match. That's my impressions from the way the land is. CSK have a lot to perform, so they need a lot to do to actually match Punjab Kings, in my opinion. I'm going to find out what our learned group thinks. The importance of... Well, we've also heard that Norjay is actually negative. He's no longer positive for COVID-19, so he's out, ready to play. Jason Roy's out. Sounds like they've been in jail. Jason Roy's out. There's a few players that are out, not in, which is good. Unfortunately, our lovely Ben Stokes is going to have actual surgery on his finger. It seems like everybody's having surgery, whether it be Ben Stokes or Jofra Archer. They're all having surgery, including even Sherris Iyer. They're all having surgery. Okay, all right. Let's get back to this match. My first feeling is Punjab Kings. What's yours, Nikhil?
I'd go with the Super Kings in this one. I think both teams evenly matched, and I know that if you were to compare the two in terms of the bookmakers, I think the Punjab Kings start as the slight favorites, but I'm still going with the Chennai Super Kings. I think what happened in the last match, and Dhoni came out and said, I think they miscalculated a bit, batting first. He thought they lost out on some 15, 20 odd runs, but now we're seeing a change in the nature of the Mumbai pitch. It's not like the one that we saw a bit earlier. We know that Chennai is in, as far as the two venues we've seen, Chennai seems to be a toss neutral venue, whereas Mumbai seemed to be a very toss heavy venue so far. But I guess the last games kind of changed that equation. And once it evens out on that front, then I would rather give a team that MS Dhoni is managing that bit of an edge. If only they could get their playing 11 right. I think for what happened last season, they're overcompensating for the number of batsmen that they have. So they packed their batsmen with Deepak Chair batting at number 11. Like if I was to be envious of any batting lineup, that would be CSK. Number 11 can bat too. But I think they overcompensated. Where they lacked there was a bowler. Very very unusual to see a Chennai Super Kings team playing with only 5 bowlers. That's what happened last time. I mean, you usually see a CSK team, especially a team captained by MS Dhoni, where you get at least 7 to 8 bowling options. At least he goes for those. But that didn't happen last game. I think he needs to rectify that. And one way of doing is your best wicket taker is sitting on the bench in Imran Tahir. You got to bring him into the playing 11. How you do it is going to be interesting because Sam Curran's getting you a lot of runs. Moeen Ali got you some runs, bowled a few overs too. How you bring that thing in check, as in bring Imran Tahir in, is going to be interesting. Faf du Plessis is your opener, so that's going to be interesting to see. But I'm going with CSK. These are just my opening thoughts, and we'll get into details as and when we get into the discussion. Thanks,
Nick. The interesting discussion that I'm seeing online is certainly around even Moeen Ali factor. He's a first drop. I still find that intriguing. I don't think he's the long-term first dropper for this side. That's my thoughts. I'm not sure what you guys think. But ultimately, we're going to see a very interesting... I think the selections of the teams are going to become more and more important as this tournament unfolds. Early on, we can excuse certain aspects of it, experimental, whatever we might want to call it. But I don't think they're going to get away with Tom Curran anymore in their selections as of the previous match. Tom Curran left a lot to be desired yet again. That's my thoughts. All right.
I think, Norman, I think they'll still stick with Curran because of the batting option he gives. The one they might let go in those 4 foreigners could be a Bravo. He's coming up a bit cold from, not playing too much cricket. I don't know where we're getting that music from. Is that from my end or is it?
I'm meant to be dancing now?
The party's already started somewhere, is it? Now it's better.
Paddy, is that your...
Paddy is starting, I guess.
No, it's Vignesh is the culprit there.
I'm not going to go there. All right. What were you saying there, Nick, just before we move on?
I'm saying Bravo could be that guy who goes out for them because I don't know. I mean, he's coming a bit cold into the IPL. Doesn't play international cricket now too much. So I think rusty was one word that we associated with CSK. And so if there's one change, if you could bring Imran Tahir in, I think it could be Dwayne Bravo that goes out. Sam Curran, I don't think he's going to risk. Also because if you need KL Rahul, who's the star batsman for Punjab, if you really need to get him out early, I think Sam Curran is going to be a good bet. We saw in that England series, got him out a few times with that ball swinging. If he's swinging the ball, KL Rahul is a bit susceptible to begin his innings with. So I think he's going to punt on Sam Curran to get him that wicket and also get him some runs there. So Sam Curran doesn't go out. I think Bravo could be the one.
Very good point. Now that I know all about you, Paddy, and your immense commentating experience, I'm eagerly awaiting your thoughts. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts, I would agree with Nikhil mostly, but I think the one thing that will make a lot of difference, not just this game, but right through the tournament, would be where CSK are ahead than most is with experience. Where they are not is with the freshness of the legs. I mean, modern age rewards youth like nothing else. I mean, you cannot have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. You might have scored 185 number of runs, but if you cannot take those easy catches that came your way, they dropped 2 sitters in the game against Delhi, and they allowed Prithvi Shaw and Shikhar Dhawan just take the game away. So those tiny little moments, I mean, agreed. I mean, they're not as athletic as the other sides will be. That's going to be a handicap for them right through the tournament. But when catches come your way, you have to take those catches. That, again, why this game I still feel Punjab start as favourites is because Rahul at this venue, Wankhede, last 3 innings, 94, 100 not out, 91. He loves this ground. And if they are chasing Punjab, then I look at this bowling lineup of Chennai Super Kings, and something tells me that how are they going to defend it? We've seen 2 different kind of surfaces. One that has grass on it. If that is the one that we're going to see today, the nature of the surface, then probably we might have a good contest. Otherwise, if it has to be decided by the willow and the donking of it, then I think Punjab are much better side, because you talk about Gale, dangerous, devastating, demolishing. You talk about Rahul, he's the nucleus, he's the pillar of the strength of the side. The others will play around him. What works magically more in their favor is Deepak Hooda coming and just giving an innings of a lifetime. What he does that, it solves the middle over crisis that has always been there for Punjab. And when Deepak Hooda is playing, there's somebody by the name of Kiran waiting in the wings. So the opposition is always very wary. Oh my God, where's this getting? But the problem is you score 221 and still you were not sure whether you're going to win this one or not. So the bowling of both sides is very iffy. But in my opinion, Punjab start as favourites.
I concur completely. I've just noticed on social media, Shane Watson, who seems to have not forgotten that he's not playing IPL at the moment, he's making his presence felt, talking about MS and his 200th match for Chennai. Now, that's quite an achievement. I'm not sure if many players have had more than 200 IPL games. Are you aware of any other players that have hit 200? I think Dhoni would be right up there, wouldn't he? As far as
Raina could be. I will have to just check. Suresh Raina could have played a little more, but
it's quite a record.
He missed the last season as well, so that will be a reason.
Yeah, that may have reduced. Yeah, Ravindra Jadeja, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Might be pretty close.
Yeah.
So Vignesh, VV, as you would like to be called, you've got a CSK outfit. Do I have to actually ask you who you're supporting? Is it something that my mind is working overtime? Is your shirt giving me vibes? What's your thoughts?
He's an Australian supporter. He's wearing yellow to make you happy.
No, but obviously I'm backing CSK as Norman said.
Oh.
But see, last season there were 2 or 3 issues with us, like the opening combination didn't fire. There was a middle order debacle which was fully on Ambati Rayudu and MS Dhoni. Last year's season, as you know, they did not have much cricket. Means they did not play much like Ambati Rayudu and MS Dhoni, so they were a bit rusty. This time with Suresh Raina back and Moeen Ali, we saw he batted well in the last game. So if we sort out that opening combination, like instead of Ruturaj, I will back Robin Uthappa. He had a good Vijay Hare Trophy. He scored some around 400 runs at an average of 75. So I am backing him to play. And in the bowling department, if it's a wicket like it was yesterday, Deepak Chahar, Sam Curran, Shardul Thakur will be very hard to handle.
Okay, very well said. That's a good summary. But your shower curtain's worrying me behind you. Sorry, I keep saying that. Okay, it's flaring. That's all right. Okay, now
Norman, one point
is,
here.
Okay, go ahead, Paddy.
You brought about the point of Robin Uthappa. I am a huge fan of Robin Uthappa. But the problem is, either you play him as an opener or you cannot fit him in the side there. Because if at number 5 or number 6, Ambati Rayudu is a far better player. Problem is that either you have Duplessis opening, so you can't put him there. You got Gaikwad. Gaikwad has just got one game. He got those 3 terrific innings last season, so you have to give him. And Dhoni is always considered to give players a longer rope. I will not be surprised if Robin Uthappa does not get a game in the remainder 6 games too. Because when Dhoni invests the trust in you, he gives you that long rope. So I just think either if you have Robin Uthappa, make him open or don't play him.
Yeah, his best season was as an opener. I guess he got an orange cap as well for while playing for Kolkata Knight Riders.
We'll certainly see what happens with Robin Uthappa very shortly. His name will come up on the boards before too long. We'll also see the early cap ceremony. If there's someone new to be capped, we'll hear about that very soon as well, which gives us an indication of players. Now, Punjab Kings, and for that matter CSK, let's be honest, are predicted to be in the bottom 4 of this competition. Would you all agree? In an honest appraisal, even you have to, as an honest appraisal, at this stage, put them in the bottom 4. Even though Delhi had a aberration yesterday and they actually lost, they still would be just classified as part of the top 3 with the likes of RCB and obviously in Mumbai Indians. But we just don't know how things pan out. We've still got a long way to go, but that's what the early indications are telling us. So this game is very important because I think these two understand that if they've got any chance of making the top 4, they've got to put a stamp on this game and start now. They can't afford to wait too long. All right. In terms of Wankhede, now Wankhede had very low scores yesterday, didn't they? It had 150 and 140, I think. What was the score? 140 and less than that. Quite low scores. A bit against the grain after the 220 odds that they were on this ground. What are your predictors for scores today? What are you feeling, guys? Nick, what do you think the scores will be today?
I mean, we'd have to see which wicket are they playing on, which strip are they going to be using. So we don't know that as yet. The last time around, we saw there was a bit of grass cover in the last pitch that was used. The other thing we know about Wankhede is because it's very close to the ocean, we know that there is enough moisture in the air, so the ball does swing. Also, the soil in Mumbai and Maharashtra is that red soil. We all know that assists a bit of bounce as well for fast bowlers. So these are conventional things that we already know about the Wankhede. The other thing we know is that it's a big scoring game as well. I mean, a big scoring ground too. So we'll have to see which strip they're using. But I think the last match was an aberration. I'd rather go to the first 2 matches that we saw. They're big scoring games. So I think you would still have some high scoring games here at the Wankhede, where toss will become very crucial. As in, if you were to bat second, that would be a massive advantage. So I think, once again, the toss is going to be very, very crucial. Just going back on, just some matchups. One, as I said, you'd have Sam Curran. I'd look for him to get me KR Rao's wicket. One other punt I would like to see CSK do, they didn't do it last time around, is to get Moeen Ali to bowl in the power play, especially if Chris Gayle comes at number 3. If you have a Mayank Agarwal fall, I would love for a Moeen Ali, an off-spinner, to come against Chris Gayle. We've seen Chris Gayle being dismissed by a offie right at the start. That's when he's vulnerable. Once he gets going, it's tough to dislodge him. So maybe that's another punt they may take with Moeen Ali.
What about, the selections of Mozon Reeks, Fabian Allen? Have they got an opportunity today? Will they be in the side? Paddy, what's your thoughts?
No, I don't think so. Because if you look at their top 4 foreigners, I mean, Gayle, you have to play. Pooran, you have to play. Then it comes down to 2 Australian fast bowlers, Meredith and Richardson. You would want to rest one just to accommodate one very experienced death bowler, which is Jordan. So I'm still a big fan of Fabian Allen. I mean, he can bat anywhere from number 4 to 8. Great fielder, somebody who can give you 4 good overs with spin as well. Yes, I am tempted, but will it happen? I don't think so, for the simple reason that the 4 foreigners that you need to accommodate, there are some that you cannot even touch. And my heart really goes out for David Malan. I mean, David Malan is not even being discussed. One of the
I
best.
can't believe that. I cannot believe that. To me, that's
Yeah,
the
and
biggest
the
shock
problem
to me.
is when you see a Puran, you have to pick him. He's a match winner. You see a Gale, I mean, he can produce a storm anytime. So the luxury that they have is outstanding. I don't see Fabian Allen getting a game today.
Okay. Vivi, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
Well, Paddy made a point about David Malan. I just want to ask him where will he accommodate him? Like, there's a KL Rahul, there's Mayank Agarwal, there is Deepak Huda, who just smashed everything around in the last game.
Sir, that's what I'm saying. Just look at the might of the side, because you're not even thinking about David Malan, because where will you fit him? So that is what I'm saying.
He's supposed to be the best T20 player in the world. What's going on? The best player in the world should be in the team. I don't get it. I don't get it.
No, the other thing that might go against David Malan is that series versus India, where England were playing. I know he's the best white ball player or the best T20 batsman in the world at the moment, but one weakness which was found out, and many people were questioning that, was how good is he going to be against spinners and on slow pitches. And that's one area where he was found wanting in that series versus India. So I think that's something that most teams may have seen. And that's why I'm not saying you won't play him, but he may not be the first choice. You rather go with someone like a Chris Gale, or you go with a Puran, who actually gives you that impetus lower down the order. So if you see international cricket, plenty of top order batsmen across teams, across various franchises, you'll see plenty of top order batsmen. What you're really struggling is to find that guy who really, pushes the run rate when he's batting in that lower middle order, and that's where Puran comes into play, which is why I say he's a rare commodity. You can think of very few players who can do that. Hardik Pandya can do that. Chris Morris did it yesterday, but he's not very consistent. And then you have a Puran who can do that. So I think he's a rare commodity in that sense.
And that is the beauty, because we are talking about the best and the biggest league here. David Malan is a certainty for the national side because he holds fort. The others play around him. He's the nucleus. Here in Punjab, it's the captain who's the nucleus. Rahul is the one who holds the fort. Others play around him. And Rahul then has the luxury of playing at a strike rate that he wants to, because the others are playing at a strike rate of 170, 180. So that's the reason. Nothing against David Malan. But as Nikhil said rightly there, I mean, sometimes you can't find a place in a team because the balance is such.
Well, it continues on. I mean, we can go back to Steve Smith. We can talk about Williamson and Milan. It always, I get it, but then I don't get it. These players are quality. I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll get a solution happening eventually. Maybe I need a muffin to understand it more, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, there's just another point that I've got this gut feeling we're going to see a big Chris Gale innings today. I've got a feeling he's put out his song. He's reaching 356s. I'm getting that in my crystal ball. Chris Gale is coming to the fore. I've got a feeling. What do you think, guys? Do you think this could be Chris Gale's day? Paddy?
Dismiss him.
Go on, Vignesh. Then I'll answer after you. Vignesh, go on.
No. If Chris Gale comes out to bat, dismiss him in the first 15 balls. Because if he stays there for 15 balls, the ball is going to just get lost in the stands.
And I think I'll just carry it forward, and I'll bring in the point that Nikhil made a short while back, which is, now look at the left-handers that they've got. Punjab, you got Gale, you got Puran, two big, bright left-handers there, big wickets. I will not be surprised if not just Moeen Ali bowls in the power play, also Suresh Raina rolls his arm over today. So that's going to be very, very crucial, because horses for courses. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni is too smart a captain. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the one thing that I've never liked about his captaincy is that he is very rigid with his playing 11. But the other thing is, he is the most thinking captain that you can ever see. And he's somebody who's already spotted this. I'll be very surprised if Suresh Raina doesn't bowl today, or if Moeen Ali, as Nikhil pointed out, does not come to bowl in the power play, because you have to get Gale early. And Gale will not be opening, mind you. But the problem is, there'll be two right-handers opening. Gale will be coming at 3. The two right-handers are the best friends that we have in the business. Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul.
And
now, I need to clear something up. I've heard that MS Dhoni is really 47. Is that right? Is he 47? How many years has he been playing now? I've lost track of how many years. How old?
Age is just a number. It's just putting mind over matter. If you don't mind, it just doesn't matter.
I've had Brad Hogg on the show recently. I think, Nikhil, you're on that show. Brad Hogg is 50. He acts like a 20-year-old. I don't know what's going on in his body. Something's crazy. He's 50 years old. He's like a spring chicken bouncing around. But yes, all right, you're saying Ms. Dhoni is not 47. I have to Google that again later. I'm not sure. All right, I digress.
MS is 39.
Officially.
He's not.
Thank you.
He's not old. He's a
Oh,
classic. He's a
I was
classic. He's
supposed to
not
go
old.
along with my 47. He's supposed to, we think he's 47. Not blow it like that. Stop Googling. All right, now.
You tell me, Norman, you tell me. Now, he made his debut in 2005. I covered that series in Bangladesh. I am 42. You're telling me MS Dhoni is 2 years younger than me? Does he look younger than me?
Oh, Nikhil, you look 21, buddy. I mean,
My
Nikhil,
crystal
you
ball
look
says funny things.
21.
That's what I'm saying. So MS grade some 10 years ago, which is to say that did he gray in 29? So officially he's 39. But in Indian cricket, as Paddy will tell you, having played domestic cricket, and it happens especially in north of India. I mean, 2-3 years here and there just is par for the course.
Yeah, those days maybe yes, but now if you talk about the present era under 19 cricketers, yeah, not now, but those days, absolutely 3 to 4 years gone everywhere.
I'm 39 still, by the way. I don't.
No, you look like
I'm 39.
39.
That's my ceiling. 39. Okay. All right. I'm convinced he's 47. Don't you
The
doubt.
other thing, Norman. The other thing, Norman. The mistake that most sides can make when you look at Chennai Super Kings, you think, oh my God, they're players above 35, most of them. I mean, now how are they going to perform? I mean, that's the biggest mistake that you can ever make, because this side will come back to sting, hurt, bite, and eat you. They have match winners, and I think
I can handle the sting and bite, but eating I'm not sure about. Okay.
If I were Stephen Fleming, I would ask Mahendra Singh Dhoni to just open the innings, surprise everyone, go out and open. We've got finishers. We've got Jadeja. Put Du Plessis at 5. You've got Bravo there. Make Mahendra Singh Dhoni open. Surprise. You can never rival the mystery of live sport, and you can never rival the mystery of IPL. Produce that element, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Come out and open. Show us what you made up of.
I'll come close. All of you come close to the camera. This is between us four. No one else will hear this. My mother she has a fancy for MS Dhoni. She has a picture on her wall. My mother's almost 90. That's irrelevant. He met him about 4 or 5 years ago at the SCG, and they were holding hands so tightly. The video is on my YouTube channel, Eyes on Cricket Norman Concert. The video is there. The evidence is there. There's something in the waters between those two. But we'll keep them between us. We won't tell anybody else. All right, back guys. All right, now the reality is that don't you like that we can be very secretive occasionally? You go close to the camera, only us can do it. All right. So the reality is that I think that MS Dhoni is a great factor, Paddy. I totally agree. He could change a match still, regardless of his age. I totally go with that. Now the toss line is far away.
CSK have won the toss and have decided to bowl, as I was saying, that teams would like to chase, and that's exactly what MSD has done. Just an update.
And 2 out of 3 encounters at Wankhede have been won by the teams chasing. And if Sanju Samson had just timed that a little better, it would have been 3 out of 3.
So you're basically trying to seal the deal for CSK to win this? Is that are you
No,
changing?
what I'm saying is that chasing has a big advantage at Wankhede because of the dew factor, irrespective of which surface, as Nikhil was talking about a short while back. We've seen 2 surfaces. One that is placid, hard. In India, we call it pata. The other one where the ball does a lot, where chasing 148 even was tough. We saw it. Any which way, whichever the surface, chasing is far easier than batting first at Wankhede because of the dew. So what happens when the dew falls? Gripping the ball is not easy, holding the ball is not easy, bowling it the way that you want to do is not easy. So I think the chasing has an advantage, yes.
And let's not forget that MS Dhoni is the best finisher on earth in his history. Absolutely. Vivi, are you happy with this toss winning? The Super Kings.
Yes, exactly. When you're playing at Wankhede, you just have to go and chase it, because along, as Paddy mentioned, that there's dew in the second innings. The size of the boundaries as well matter. Like the straight boundary is hardly 70 meters at Wankhede. so the batsman can think that even if it's 100 required of the last 10, so they can back themselves to clear the ropes under pressure.
That's a fair point. The reality is that I'll just let you know, guys. I think Nikhil's already knows this. The word chase is a dirty word for me. You choose to bat or bowl. You never choose to chase. I know it's a terminology that's coming into our discussions across the board. I'm not a person that says chase. You bat or bowl, and then you do the opposite at the end. The word chase I always get the implication if you're chasing, you're behind the 8 ball. You're not quite there. You're behind the run rate. You start to put pressure on your batters. I prefer that, like an MS Dhoni would do a very calculated and measured attempt to get the runs, meaning that he would have things under control. I believe that's the way they should play. And I'm going to say this again. The top 3 in the batting order for both sides is crucial. They have to fire. We've seen yesterday's game where both top orders completely failed. They had 4 or 5 of the first batsmen had single-digit scores. It's imperative for to put a stamp on this series to have one of their top 3 batters score big. Would you agree?
Yes, right, exactly. The start is the key. Means whenever you're playing, like if they swing, you need your openers to get some runs on the board.
And I think the biggest factor is going to be swing. I mean, if Chennai Super Kings have to restrict Punjab, the only way they can do is by inflicting damage with the new ball. And the new ball, I mean, Deepak Chahar has been searching for that swing. I was talking to Wasim Akram once. I'll share this very sweet incident. Wasim Akram said, it depends a lot on how you hold the ball. It depends a lot on what the conditions are, overcast conditions. But sometimes the conditions are favorable and the wrist position is perfect and the ball still does not swing. Exactly. So you never know. You never know which day it's going to swing. So far, bowlers are finding it very hard to find that swing. They need to find that swing because, mark my words, there's one team which will constantly score 180 plus in the tournament, and that is Punjab, given the might that they have in their batting. Not that they'll win even after scoring 190 plus, but they'll consistently score those number of runs.
Now, we're just hearing as well that not only has CSK won the toss and chosen to bowl first, it's an unchanged CSK side.
And that's exactly the point that we were making. Mahendra Singh Dhoni does not fiddle much.
And Absolutely. It's an unchanged.
He doesn't believe in chopping and changing.
And it's an unchanged Punjab Kings side as well.
That's intriguing. I take my hat off to both sides, in particular Punjab Kings, to keep the same side. I take my hat off for that. I think that's a very strong move. I'm a strong believer in consistency. Often we hear horses for courses, but sometimes you need to keep that side as consistent as possible. Does that change the landscape with CSK winning the toss and having unchanged sides? Does it change your ideas at all? Paddy?
Sorry, come again?
Do you now, having heard that both teams are unchanged, I know CSK, you said it's going to be unchanged, but Punjab Kings is also unchanged. Does it change your perspective on this match at all? Do you still see?
Absolutely not. I would surely have been tempted to bring in the death specialist, which is Jordan. But I think because they've just played one game and it'll be very unfair to either drop Meredith or drop Richardson because, mind you, they've invested a lot in these fast bowlers. Last year, their main problem was death bowling. And they said, okay, we need to have these 2 Aussies. We expect them to hunt in pairs. And as batsmen hunt in pairs, it's alone you can do so little. Together you can do so much. Even fast bowlers or good bowlers, they hunt in pairs. So good to see. I would want to see the 2 of them bowl in tandem. One bowling from the other end, the other one from this end. So don't just bowl them at different times. Let them bowl together and inflict that damage.
Now with Jadeja and Bravo, how do you gauge their fitness levels? Jadeja having come off the injury that he's had, back playing a few games now. Is he fully fit? And is Bravo fully fit?
Can I answer this?
Yeah.
Okay. Jadeja is the best arm from the boundary line or from the 30-yard circle, period. No doubt about it. His fitness at this moment, 90%. Darren Bravo is Mahendra Singh Dhoni's favorite for many reasons. One, because he falls back on him on so many occasions. Bravo has got a terrific record against Chris Gayle. He's got him out on 8 occasions so far. So that really works in that favor. And those two, in my opinion, are match winners as well. When chips will be down, they'll be requiring 42 from three. Two players that you will bank on to do that for the side are Bravo and Jadeja.
And if you see yesterday's game, a lot of the wickets were of the slower ones. So Bravo is the best in the Princess when it comes to slower ones. Like one season, he won the purple cap with the 20 wickets with the slower ones.
Okay. My thunder's been stolen. I hope for changes in the sides. The fact that they're unchanged, look at nothing to talk about now. That's not true. The fact is, looking at the batting line for CSK, Gaikwad and Faf du Plessis has to perform. He's underdone. Suresh Raina first up looked particularly good in this previous match. Moeen Ali. So are they suggesting Raina will go first drop, Moeen Ali will go second? Is that the suggestion, do you think? Will that be a batting order change? Wasn't Moeen Ali the first drop in the previous match? Guys, help me out there. Moeen Ali was the first drop.
He was, yes.
Yes.
Last game, yeah.
I don't know whether sometimes literally when they write the sides down, whether that should generally be the batting order. Should it not? So they put him in.
But in the IPL, Norman's pretty. I mean, you may think of one particular batting order, but it's going to be very flexible. If you lose a wicket early, you tend to send someone else.
Of course.
Also depends, who's bowling at the time. So they may have Raina in mind as number 3. I think last time around also they had his name at number 3, but they sent Moeen Ali. So similarly, they could do something like that. I mean, even Raidu at 5, I would have liked to have seen him. He's batted at number 3 as well. So, I mean, for whatever they do, MS Dhoni at 7 just doesn't, cut mustard with me. So just don't bat him at number 7. I may still not want to see him open as Paddy suggested. I mostly agree with everything that he says. Only I'm saying because age has caught up with him. He may struggle to read the pace of a Meredith or a Richardson at this age. So that's the only reason I may not want him to open. Otherwise, I love it.
That is again, Nikhil, that is again the reason why I say Dhoni will have to run little and hit more when he opens. Use the bowler space. Okay, age is catching up. Make them. It is not what you have. It is what you do with what you have. So stand there, short ball, cut 6, short ball, pull 6, pitch it up, bring the Mahendra Singh Dhoni helicopter.
That was more of a horse whipping action that I saw. They're not a batting action, but anyway, we'll take that away. All right. Are you covering horse racing? What are you commentating now, Paddy? You're commentating on cricket? What, ballroom dancing was it as well, I heard?
His favorite sport is kabaddi.
Kabaddi. So I've covered everything. Nikhil and I, we've done Olympics together, Asian Games together, and we believe that love for every sport must be shown, enjoyed, and thoroughly.
You've only really made it in Australia if you have ballroom dancing as a part of that. If you've done that, then I will judge you on that. It's a very difficult to commentate ballroom dancing, by the way.
Also, the other tough game is lawn bowls. That one. That's really tough too. He's done commentary on that. It's very tough.
You can get really excited when that ball hits that little ball. You can go nuts. The crowd doesn't exist, but it doesn't matter. All right. Vivi, we're back to your shower. I'm convinced you're in your shower. That is a shower curtain behind you. Please tell me you're not in the shower. Okay. Vivi, back to you. Tell me what your CSK roots, what's coming out of you. Tell me, how is CSK going to win today? Where is it going to be won?
Yeah, see, for CSK to win, there has to be swing in the first half an hour. That's the key because KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal both have issues with the swinging ones. Like I have seen KL many times drag on it onto the stumps if it's an outswing. He pushes outside the off stump. So probably Deepak Char will look to get him out.
Yeah, I think I did mention earlier about the top 3 being the most important part of their performance, but the way that Deepak Hooda batted the previous match, he's the real deal to me. Very much impressed by his batting. He impressed me. I didn't expect that much from him. Tell me what your take is, Nikhil.
No, but he's from Paddy's state, Deepak Hooda. So there's only one way of batting.
If you want to motivate him, and if you want to bring the best out of him, you just have to tell him that every bowler that is going to bowl to you today is Krunal Pandya.
Yes, that's the right point. Because whatever
So-
happened in that Baroda
So he
camp,
he
would
gets
not.
most motivation just by that one name, Krunal Pandya. They've had disagreements in the past. I mean, I'm just joking, but yes, what an innings! Outstanding. He solved that middle over crisis that the teams always had, Punjab. And I think because he played at that rate of over 200, it allowed KL Rahul to play at a pace that he wanted to. Nikhil, you were saying something?
I was saying, like a good Haryanvi, does he also drink a lot of milk? And is that the secret behind his power rating?
No, absolutely. And I think doodh dahi ka khana ye mara Haryana. As you always say, sorry, you wouldn't get the Norman. What I'm saying is that in Haryana, in our state, we derive a lot of pleasure in having curd and milk. So the milk products are our source of energy. So yes, he does. And I think what a player. That Deepak Hooda, Nikhil, we've covered sport for so long. We've seen Deepak Hooda in so many IPLs before. But this Deepak Hooda was never seen before. We've seen him donk sixes, but not at that strike rate. Not the way he batted that. There was a dream, boy. Oh,
Well, maybe he's been given a license to kill this series. Maybe he's been given complete carte blanche to go for it. That's perhaps what's going on here. This seems to be a trend.
There's another Deepak Hooda in their team by the name of Shah Rukh Khan. We're all waiting to see him. We saw a bit of him in the domestic cricket. Also can tonk the ball. So if Kings do end up losing a few, Punjab Kings, I mean, if they end up losing a few wickets up top, he may get a little longer time to bat, and then Shah Rukh comes in to his own. So that'd be interesting. Shah Rukh playing for Preeti Zinta's team, a different Shah Rukh.
Nick, I tell you what,
Good point, Nikhil.
But Nick, you've made me love you. You know why? Because you said the word tonk. I love the word tonk. Tonka. That's a word that I haven't heard for a long time. I used to play with Tonka trucks. That's another story. Remember? Do anyone remember Tonka trucks? You're probably all too young. Huh? You do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Vivi, now you're being very quiet there. Do you think your team's going to win? Genuinely, honestly, deep down?
Yes, actually, I'm backing them 100% CSK is going to win this game. Because last time, MS Dhoni might have got back to the drawing room, told his bowlers where they were wrong in the previous match against Delhi. So probably, they won't commit, the bowlers won't dare to commit same mistakes one more time. And with the bat, they were pretty good. Sam Curran means they batted, as Nikhil said, they bat till number 11. It's
a worry when a team says they can bat to number 11. They rely too often on their lower order, if you ask me. To me, you shouldn't need any more than your top three. You should win games 1 or 2 down. When you get to 50, you should make that 90 to 100. We've got to see more of that through this series. A number of teams, other than Samson's century, a lot of players are getting around that 50 mark and getting out, including the likes of Warner, even punts. They have to put their stamp on the game by scoring big, and that's where the difference will come. The team that has a player that bats early and bats towards the end and scores 90, 100 will win most matches, except for Samson, of course. That's the one exception. All right. Other thoughts? Come on. Where's your thoughts? I want to drain your thoughts.
I just have a request. Why don't you get Paddy to sing one song each for one team? One for.
Come on, Paddy. It's your time.
Okay,
You've got 30 seconds. Let's go.
Okay, so this one's for CSK. तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी ना ज़मीन मंजिल ना आसमां जिंदगी है जिंदगी. And for Punjab, I'd like to sing रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बाहर के.
Were they love songs?
Translate that for you, Norman. Should I translate that for you?
Yes, please.
He was singing that I want Punjab play just the way the Indian team played against Australia and beat them hollow. I want Punjab to play like that in the IPL.
I didn't hear the word. I didn't hear that word.
He used the code word for Australia in Hindi.
Look,
Nikhil, you text him, he'll get that.
Let's be honest, guys. We let you win. It was too much of a romance. It was beautiful theatre.
Please maintain your generosity right through in future years as well.
Absolutely. Now, I won't sing today because if I sing, all these female fans will come flying to the front. Our fan page will be going crazy. Not today, guys. We'll hold that back for the right moment. Now, I'm seeing very little discussion because of this. The only discussion that's coming out now is again for Dhoni's 200th. There'll be a bit of fanfare of the game. There's been no new caps given out. It's going to be all about Dhoni's 200th. And look, it's a big achievement. The more I see Dhoni play this season, I know it's been said otherwise. I have this feeling this could be his last season. I know I shouldn't be saying that. I've got this feeling that something's brewing that it might be his last season, especially if they do well. That could well be on the cards. He might have a coaching role to go to. We don't know. All right. In terms of the victory, now I realise the top line have said Punjab Kings and the bottom line have said CSK. Is that correct? We're holding firm to that? We're holding firm to that. That gives me an opportunity to bring in my 11 circle one more time because now we've got our bets sorted out. It's time to bring my 11 circle back into play. You can win 1 crore rupees as the first prize. You can also bet against VVS Laxman and Dada and get a chance to win 5 times the cash. Download that app now and get 1,500 rupees. I would like to get 1,500 rupees for doing nothing and also joining bonus and then have a 20% extra cash. I've got money in my hands when I play this already. My 11 circle is the way to go. And look at Norman. He's looking very stiff in the extra time hat and shirt. Oh, and it happens to be my YouTube channel. What a mistake. Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnak. Just happened to be in the frame. I don't know how it got there and must have slipped over. All right, back to you, Paddy. Now, I'm particularly interested in you, but you can't sing the result. Okay, you're saying that the Punjab Kings will win, but by how much? What do you predict?
Now, because they're batting first, as Nikhil told all of us, and so they will score 190. So they will score 190, and they are going to win by a very thin margin of 7 to 8 runs.
Okay. Vivi, what do you think? I'm gonna call you VVS Laxton in a minute. Vivi, what's your thoughts? What's going to be the result? You said CSK. By how much?
I guess they will win by 4 to 5 wickets. They'll win by they'll be 2 or 3 down at the end of the game.
That's a pretty comprehensive victory, isn't it? That's a pretty comprehensive victory. You're saying the top order is going to fire. In other words,
Yes.
Who's going to fire? Is it going to be Rayner? I can't see Faf du Plessis scoring big. I'm sorry. I'm predicting him having a very ordinary season. I'm not impressed with his performances to date and generally.
Champions wear their bruises with pride. I mean, beauty about champions is that you can never write them off. The moment you say they have their back against the wall, they will surprise you. Believe you me, Faf du Plessis just might have one of the best seasons this season.
Okay.
But I'm backing Raina and Faf because if you remember Chennai's game at this very ground against SRH in the 2018 qualifier, it was Faf single-handedly won it. Like CSK were in deep trouble, chasing 140, 150 odd, and it was Faf. So I expect Faf to come back, and Chennai is known that they come back very hard. And we are wounded lions.
I think the key to CSK winning, although I have said Punjab Kings, the key is to attack Meredith and Richardson. They're not settled yet. They're not on the top of their game. They're new to the conditions. They haven't played it. I'm sure they still haven't played at Mumbai before, have they? The last game they played was not there. Correct. Was that correct? The last game that Kings 11, or actually Punjab Kings played, was not at Wankhede, was it?
It was at Wankhede.
It was. Okay.
It was.
I'll take that back. But I don't think they're still raw. And I think some of these CSK batsmen should target these two guys because the ball will come onto the bat. They have slower balls, but I think under the stress of the match, they're the two to actually attack. And that's my tip. If CSK are going to win, they need to attack the two Australian bowlers. What's your thoughts?
No, if you see the last game of Punjab Kings.
Sorry?
Have you switched sides? You just said CSK is going to win.
No, I didn't say that. If they're going to win, CSK have to target the 2 Australian players. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Punjab Kings are still going to win. But if CSK are going to win, they have to target those 2 Australian bowlers. That's what I'd be saying. If I was Stephen Fleming, I'd be saying that to them. Vivi, what were you saying?
Yes, even if you watch the last game of Punjab Kings versus Rajasthan, it was these 2 bowlers who means Rajasthan targeted, like both Richardson and Murli. So probably we'll have to take the same. We'll have to do the same thing.
I mean, Arshdeep Singh and Mohammad Shami both play admirably in the first match, and Shami was in incredibly good form considering the injury that he's had. That arm injury should not have seen him play so well so quickly. Were you impressed with Shami last time? I was. I certainly was. Considering all, he bowled particularly well given his first real match back. All right, guys. It's clear that the top line is Punjab Kings and CSK is the bottom line. We need to compare notes. I've got a feeling, as I said to you, my crystal ball, once again, I'm seeing Punjab Kings. All right, guys. If we've got no further ado, we'll actually end it there. The game's starting in a few minutes. The unchanged sides made this a very easy discussion. I think it's going to be a great match. Again, a close one. Nice to meet you, Paddy. Nick, as always, sensational. Vivi, you've been great, but get rid of that shower curtain, please. All right, guys. All right. All the best to you. This is Norman Kochnek from, as you can see with my hat, Extra Time. Extra Time. We haven't got much extra time this time, but it's going to be a Punjab Kings victory. All the best, guys. See you post-match. Thank you from Norman Kochnek on Extra Time. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. See ya.